This is a book review for The Defining Decade by Dr. Meg Jay. So I'm not going to give this book like stings. I'm not going to rate it that kind of way because I don't think that it deserves that. I think that that's more reserved for like my novels and other books that I read. This one is like a self-help book. So what it was for me could be something totally different than somebody else. So I don't want to give it stings based off of that. But I did enjoy this book. Some parts were relevant to my life, some parts were not relevant, and that's normal with a self-help book. But I think the thing that I got out of the most is that you are not the only one in your situation. There are lots of situations discussed in this book, um, and they're all real. Names have been changed, but all of the stories are real, or that's what they say. So it's nice to know that there are other people in their 20s who are just as unsure as I am about life, what it has to offer us, and what it holds for us. And I don't know, I think that this book was just good to know. Like, people have been there, they've done that, and they got through it, and you will too. Um, so I don't know if, the whole why your 20s matter and how to make the most of them now. Like, I don't know if that necessarily, yeah, and it tells you how to do that. It tells you how, like, what Dr. J's advice was to her patients to make the moments. But as far as like telling you really how to make, the most of the now, I don't think it really does that. I think, gosh, okay, I'm so sorry. I think that it mostly just gives you like reassurance, or for me, that's what it did, was give me reassurance. The one piece of advice that I did really, take, and that I have, spread to my friends and acquaintances, is to work your loose connections. That's one of the lessons taught in this book. So like when looking for a job or when looking for new opportunities, working your loose connections. Loose connections can be friends of friends, people on LinkedIn, and things like that. And it just goes to show, like, just knowing someone's name and being able to say, hey, I met you here, or hey, you're a friend of so and so, do you mind? Like, you're always like, if it was you that the person talked to, you'd be like, oh yeah, then why don't you think other people would do that? Because they will. So work your loose connections. I'm trying to work mine. You should work yours. And then we could get loose. Get loose. Okay. That was not part of the book, but it's just what popped in my mind. So, The Defining Decade, I do recommend it. If you're in your 20s and you're lost, it's okay. You can read this book and you can find out you're not the only one. I am here with you too. So let's make the most of our 20s. I don't know that this book is really going to teach you how to make the most of them, but it's definitely a good start. It's definitely a good start.